I am Sanjay Mansukhani. I am addressing you from Kolkata, and I am a teacher of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Today we will be discussing one of the very important aspects brought into yoga by Patanjali. It is the concept, the tattva, the principle of Ishvara, and the symbol which represents Ishvara. It's a mystic symbol, Om. So let us look at both of them, and if you understand and implement what Ishvara is, what Patanjali suggests to do and think about Ishvara and how to practice Om, I can assure you 100% you will be able to reach the highest state of Samadhi possible. Therefore, my dear friends, please always pay attention to yogic Ishvara and the yogic concept of Om. So Patanjali says in the 23rd Sutra of his first chapter, he says that Samadhi can be obtained by devotion to Ishvara. Yes, he uses the term Ishvara Pranidhana. Pranidhana means complete devotion to the Lord. Pranidhana means bowing down to the Lord, going prostrate on your knees before the Lord. And when you do that, you are in a way stopping your ego from manifesting, and you are surrendering completely to Ishvara. Ishvara is an entity who can give you all that you desire in life. Ishvara has all the power. Ishvara has all the knowledge. That is the yogic concept of Ishvara. And Ishvara is a concept which has been highly popular in the post-Vedic period of India. So here Patanjali says to all the yogis, you may do penances, you may do dharana, you may do dhyana, you may try various types of samadhi like sampragyata samadhi or sampragyata samadhi, but these are tough ways. These are highly disciplined ways to reach samadhi. But the best and the easiest way to do so, to reach that higher state of existence, is devotion to Ishvara. When you submit yourself completely to Ishvara, then you find that things happen magically. The path becomes easy. The road ahead is easier traveled. And Hariharananda, one of the commentators, describes this state of having the feeling of existence of God as if it is present in the innermost core. And he says, as you meditate on Ishvara, you start losing interest in all other things. So Ishvara requires one-pointed attention. Ishvara requires one-pointed devotion. And as you practice this, you find vairagya setting in. You get removed away, you get detached from all other areas where your mind was going. So automatically you are moving into a zone of concentration. At the same time, you are moving into that zone of concentration with emotion, with the emotion of bhakti, with the emotion of surrender. And this is a very, very strong way of achieving what you want to achieve. Patanjali says that Ishvara is a special soul. Ishvara is a Param Purusha. Ishvara is not an ordinary soul. Ishvara is not an ordinary Atma. And he is not affected by the sanskaras. Now what are sanskaras? Sanskaras are formed by our being in this world, being in this samsara, and our picking up thoughts, ideas, concepts from the world outside, from within us. They become deposits on our chitta, they become memories, so they form sanskaras. And these sanskaras later on fructify into karma, fructify into action. So Patanjali says Ishvara is neither sanskaras, Ishvara is neither karma, he is above them. And neither is he the kleshas. What are kleshas? Kleshas are obstacles on the path of yoga. There are essentially five obstacles. The first one is ignorance, not knowing who we truly are. The second one is ego. The third one is attachment. Fourth is aversion. Fifth is clinging to life. When we are ignorant about who we are, when we have forgotten that we are the pure soul, we are the pure Atma, we are the Purusha, then we get mingled up, we get conjoined with Prakriti, with nature, and that is where all the human sorrow begins. So, Patanjali says, Ishvara has never been in Prakriti. Ishvara has therefore never experienced any kind of sanskaras, any kind of karmas, any kind of kleshas. He comes directly into existence and he is above Prakriti, he is above nature. That is why Ishvara is able to control nature. Ishvara is able to control Prakriti. That is the main reason why Patanjali suggests to the yogis, do not achieve Samadhi purely on the basis of your willpower, on the basis of your dedication, on the basis of your efforts and discipline alone. Involve Ishvara, submit to Ishvara, surrender to Ishvara. He can control Prakriti. He will make the path easy, simple and direct. So that is why Ishvara plays a very, very important role in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and that is something which we must remember. Going further, if you read the Yoga Sutras carefully, he even says the Ishvara is beyond time. He is eternal. He has always been here. He is changeless. And he is represented by the symbol Om. So we will look into this. What is Patanjali actually talking about Om, and what is the solid importance of Om, and why is it so much a very relevant, I would say, a symbol and a mantra in the philosophies from the East. Another very interesting concept which Patanjali brings about Ishvara is in the Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga is the path of action. There is no asana, there is no pranayam, there is no concentration, meditation or samadhi on the path of Kriya Yoga. But in that path of Kriya Yoga, Patanjali says, you begin with tapasya, you do tapas, and then you do swadhyaya, you learn about yourself, you study about yourself, about the soul, about the Atma, about the Purusha. And once when you have done that, then you surrender completely to the Lord. You go into a state called Sharanagati, where you are no longer there, only the Ishvara is. And when you reach that state, that is when you find that your life takes on a blissful change. Your life becomes full of sattva. Rajas and tamas start diminishing within you and outside you. So Ishvara is a very, very important state here. Apart from that, in the sadhana chapter, Patanjali says, if you as a yogi want to achieve perfect samadhi, then the perfect samadhi can only be achieved once you reach the state of complete surrender to Ishvara. You are in the state of Ishvara pranidhana. And that is again, as I said, for a yogi, attaining samadhi is critical. So Patanjali has actually pointed out three methods of achieving samadhi, three methods of controlling the mind, the fluctuations of the mind, the vrittis of the mind. The first method, he says, is abhyasa. Abhyasa means concentration. Abhyasa means meditation and moving further to samadhi. The second method which he has spoken about is vairagya. Vairagya is detachment, which is constantly practiced. And as you keep on doing this, you keep on moving up the path, and you reach a state of complete mind control of the vrittis. The vrittis stop, in fact, and you reach the dharma makes samadhi, and that is where liberation occurs. The highest state of kevalya is reached. The third method, which he says can be tried, is very simple, is very fast, is very quick, is the devotional method, where a yogi practices devotion also to the Lord, and here the magic starts. Patanjali also mentions the normal purushas, the normal atmas, they come through a cleansing process through prakriti. So they have to go through the sadhana, being present in prakriti. And when they practice their sadhana in prakriti, they slowly keep on purifying themselves. They slowly keep on improving themselves. And as they purify, as they improve, they move higher and higher in spiritual attainment till they reach a state of complete enlightenment. And when they reach that state of complete enlightenment, then they have the complete knowledge. But even then, Ishvara has the highest knowledge. Whatever knowledge a yogi might acquire, his knowledge is not permanent. His knowledge grows slowly with time. As he does his practice, as he lives in the world, he starts picking up knowledge. His knowledge keeps on growing. But in the case of Ishvara, his knowledge is eternal. His knowledge is always there, right from the beginning of time till the end of time and beyond. Ishvara has the supreme-most knowledge. And we can connect to that knowledge. That is the most important part here. So, just to recuperate, as I told you, Ishvara is a special soul. He is a Paramatma. He is a Parampurusha. He is not affected by the obstacles of yoga. He is not affected by the karma. And he is not affected by the sanskaras. In the Ishvara is the seed of omniscience. And this seed of omniscience in the Ishvara is unsurpassed. So he has the seed of all knowledge. And what is the fact about a seed? A seed in the beginning is very small, but with time it keeps on growing. A seed, when planted in the soil, turns into a sapling, then has a trunk, then has tree, has leaves, and then it grows into a huge massive structure, and then it starts giving fruits, and people enjoy those fruits. Similarly, Ishvara is the seed of knowledge. His seed of knowledge keeps on growing. His knowledge is unsurpassed. It is beyond human capabilities. The knowledge which is received by any enlightened person, however enlightened he may be, is never up to the level of Ishvara, is always below the level of Ishvara. Omniscience, all knowledge, has also been defined as the totality of all dimensions of all individual beings, whether past, present or future. So Ishvara is knowing everything about all that has been planned and that is existing in this current universe. That is why he is omniscient. His knowledge level is pretty high. Another interesting fact about Ishvara, as told by Vyasa, he says the purpose of all activities of Ishvara is for the benefit of living beings. It is not for anything else. And the best part, which I like the most, and I think is very, very powerful, which each one of us must appreciate, understand, practice, and implement in our life, it will bring a phenomenal change in what is happening around you. The very first thing which needs to be done is Ishvara is the Adi Guru. Ishvara is the eternal Guru. Why is he the Adi Guru? Why is he the eternal Guru? Because he removes us from complete darkness of knowledge, complete ignorance of knowledge. He lifts us to the highest level possible. And He is not limited by time. That is, from the very beginning of existence, all knowledge has emanated from Ishvara. That means this whole creation is filled up with knowledge, the way an ocean is filled up with water. That is the beauty of the whole thing. All around us is knowledge. That knowledge is there in each and everything in the universe. It may be the smallest matter, an atomic level matter, or it may be the matter of the size of the whole universe put together. Each and every iota of existence is all about knowledge. But we as human beings are limited in our perspective, limited in our ability to receive this knowledge, because we are getting this knowledge through our five sense organs. The five sense organs of eyes, ears, nose, tongue and the skin. And these are all operational within certain limits. So we human beings naturally, because of our normal existence, miss out on the highest possible knowledge, on the knowledge which is beyond the realms, beyond space and time. So how can that knowledge be received? Here where Patanjali gives a clue, he gives a very powerful insight. He says, since he is our guru, so we are automatically his shishyas, we are automatically his disciples, and being the guru, his dharma is to guide us. Being the guru, his responsibility is to make our life simple and easy and fast. Being the guru, he is there to guide us so that all our desires can be fulfilled. So the Ishvara of Patanjali is not Vishnu, is not Shiva, is not Krishna, is not Rama, it is not religious. His Ishvara is one to whom you have to commit 100%. His Ishvara is above Prakriti. His Ishvara is the eternal Guru. And his Ishvara, he says, is represented by the symbol Om. Om, as per the Upanishads, they say it is the Alamban. It is the support by using which you can meet Ishvara. You can get close to Ishvara and understand Ishvara. So we all know the importance of Om in Indian spirituality. And here Patanjali says that when you think of Om, when you see the symbol Om, when you chant Om, you are actually thinking of the Ishvara. And since the symbol Om is a support, is an alamban, so around that alamban you can reach out to Ishvara himself. It might be difficult to concentrate, to focus, to meditate on Ishvara as such, as per the definition. But if you are focusing, concentrating and meditating on Om, then it becomes simple, very, very simple. You achieve the same goal, but in a far simpler way. And Patanjali says is, you repeat Om, you chant Om, and you keep on contemplating on the meaning of Om. When you contemplate on the meaning of Om, when you contemplate that Om is Ishvara, Om is above all Purusha, all Prakriti, Om is the final controlling point. And you must remember, this Ishvara is growing from within you, because you are putting him in as a sanskara in your chitta. You are creating a vritti first, and then a sanskara, and then the karma happens. Then the Ishvara grows inside you, and then it starts controlling, guiding, leading your life. It's somewhat like Arjuna and Krishna in Mahabharata. Arjuna approached Krishna and said, "You be with me in the war." But what did we actually find? Krishna was leading Arjuna all throughout the war. Krishna was guiding Arjuna all throughout the war. Similarly, friends, this world is a Mahabharata, and all of us are Arjunas. So when we surrender, when we submit to Ishvara, he comes in our life, he starts controlling the Prakriti around us. He starts controlling the other Purushas around us. And we get a phenomenal benefit in life. We get a jump over others in life. Our life starts shining with prosperity, good health, mental power, name, fame, whatever you desire. So similarly, Patanjali says, it is very easy. Just contemplate on Om. Just repeat Om. Just chant Om. And we know whatever we repeat constantly, consistently, becomes deeply ingrained in our psyche, becomes deeply ingrained in our subconscious mind. Whatever we consciously repeat like a mantra becomes a very deep factor in our subconscious mind. And then the seeds implanted in the subconscious mind of Om take shape, they grow into trees, they give flowers, they give fruits, and then the benefits of Ishvara start flowering and fructifying in all throughout our life, in our family, in our workplace, in our relationships, whatever you may think of. So the concept of Ishvara is very important. Easiest way is Om chanting, and it can do wonders for you. Another thing which Patanjali is suggesting here, which is again tremendously powerful, at least I find it phenomenally powerful. He says, when you chant Om, you realize your inner consciousness. You travel deep inside you. You reach the higher states of consciousness, and you get the freedom, absolute freedom from all sorts of disturbances. Now, what disturbances is Patanjali talking about here? In the next few sutras, he is explaining those mental disturbances. But these disturbances are disturbances which are obstacles, which are distractions on the path of yoga. And we therefore simply cannot achieve yoga if these distractions are there. But with the help of Om chanting, with the help of constant repetition, as our consciousness keeps on rising, our mental state keeps on improving, these mental distractions keep on disappearing, life takes on a newer meaning, and these disturbances can be as simple as diseases in the body, depression, anxiety, stress, doubt, lack of confidence, laziness, sloth, over-attachment, and things like that. So these mental illnesses are connected to the imbalances in the mind, and these imbalances in the mind can be corrected by a simple chanting of Om. So what I would suggest, dear friends, is wherever you are, whenever you have the time, you can always put on the Om chant. Allow this chant to play. Allow this chant to be there in the room or in the office or in the space you are occupying. And you will find this chant, this sound, when it reaches you, it will start impacting your whole nervous system. You will find that there would be a humming sound on the top of your head in the crown area, and that is the area where we have the it is inactive. This is also called the third eye, because scientists have found when they have cut open the pineal gland, there is a small unfinished eye kind of a structure shape inside, and this is covered by certain granular structure, certain piezoelectric crystals. So when the humming sound happens, when the Om, the Ma sound happens, then this humming goes to the top of the crown and it starts vibrating, and these piezoelectric crystals start vibrating. This vibration leads to opening up of the sixth sense. This vibration leads to opening up of insight, intuition, pragya, and lot of such other things. The same benefit can also happen with different kinds of mental concentrations. We will be discussing those 6-7 kind of mental concentration techniques which Patanjali has suggested for those people who would not like to do the Om chant. So my dear friends, these two concepts of Ishvara and the Om chant are phenomenal. To go a bit deeper into the Om is made up of 3 sounds, A, U and Ma. The A sound is the generation of the sound. When you start the Om sound, before that you fill up your stomach with air. You breathe in air, you fill up your stomach like a balloon, and then you start pronouncing or sounding A. As you sound out A, the air is sucked up. It comes up the throat, out of your mouth, and that is the generation of the sound. Then when you are saying U, that is the time when this sound is held continuous at the same level, and it is flowing out as if flowing out through a pipe. And when you come to Ma, M, the humming sound, there you are holding this Ma inside your mouth, closed mouth, for some time, and that is when the vibration takes place. This A part has to be for 40% of the total time of the Om. The U part has to be also for 40% of the total time of Om. And the Ma part has to be for 20%. So if you do it this way, A 40%, U 40%, Ma 20%, that is ideally the right Om. But it is not O and M. It is not O-M. It is A, U, Ma. You must remember that. And so we see, dear friends, Ishvara is a very powerful concept in yoga. Ishvara is above Prakriti. Ishvara is Param Purusha. So he is above all souls. Ishvara controls both of them. And when we love Ishvara, when we surrender to Ishvara, he grows within our heart and reaches out beyond Prakriti. So then we have a direct access from within Prakriti to the highest power in the creation, beyond the creation, the Ishvara. And then he controls Purusha and Prakriti for us, and he gives us whatever we want, whatever we desire. He gives us complete knowledge, the way he gave knowledge to our forefathers, our ancients. He clears up the path for us. He helps us see the goal. He helps us see the path towards the goal, and surprisingly, he takes us towards the goal in a very easy, in a very fun-loving manner. So dear friends, that is Ishvara. He has all the knowledge, and that knowledge is pragya. That knowledge is intuition. It can flow into you. It will tell you what others do not know. It will take you to the limits of wisdom. And then with pragya, with intuition, once you know all this, so this extraordinary knowledge from Ishvara, this divine knowledge which is beyond the senses, gives mystic powers, gives supernatural powers, gives extra sensory powers to the sadhaka, to the yogi. So Ishvara plays a very phenomenal role in the yogic scheme of things, and it is the shortcut, it is the best possible shortcut to the permanent source of all power. And Om is the best possible shortcut to Ishvara. And once you do these two, let me assure you, you might not even need to do the other practices like the asana, like pranayam, like dharana, that is concentration, like dhyana, meditation or samadhi. Through the simple technique of Ishvara pranidhana and Om chanting, you may reach the ultimate. So dear friends, that is all for today. Thank you so much for being here, for wanting to understand the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and by simply understanding and practicing Om and the concept of Ishvara, we will get permanent happiness in our life. We will experience bliss. We will come out of all kinds of sorrow, pain and suffering. And once you do this, you can even teach your family members how to achieve that higher state of bliss, happiness, ananda and permanent happiness. And then you can take it further. You can share it with the members of your society. You can help your countrymen to achieve that permanent happiness with the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, with the knowledge of Ishvara and Om chanting, and it can be then taken on to the whole world. So my dear friends, with these prayers, with the hope that all of you listening here will understand, appreciate and apply this esoteric, powerful knowledge of yoga from the spiritual land of India and use it for your own upliftment, your own permanent happiness and all others around you. Thank you so much. God bless you and may you have the best of everything in life with the grace and blessings of Ishvara. Thank you so much.